this is Lori Magnuson over at Stamp Sunshine on Facebook. And today I'm going to demonstrate how to do this card made from the Cherish the Season Bundle, which is basically this stamp set with some dies that also cut out the bells and the tree limbs. So this paper is going to be retiring, and as a matter of fact, on the 8th of this month, there's going to be sale on a lot of the things that is going to be retiring from the August through January, I guess it is, mini catalog. The paper, I'll just show you a few examples of it, is beautiful. This is called Toile Tidings. This is a beautiful scene, and this plaid is very on trend. There's several scenes, but what makes this paper really neat is the opposite side has all the exact same prints, but done in red, beautiful red color. So I'm going to be using that paper today to make this card. Before I get started on the card, I just wanted to let you know that if you've placed an order with me during 2020, you'll be receiving the new January through June mini catalog and the celebration, because starting January 5th through February 28th, we will be having celebration, which means for every $50 you spend, you can choose a free gift out of the celebration catalog. So look forward to that. And if you placed an order with me and you did not receive that, give me a call and I will be sure to get one right out to you. All right, so the first thing that we always try to do is to get our stamping done. So I have my Stamparatus set up for the inside of my card, and I've already done the stamping on the outside, but just as a reminder, when you use the Stamparatus, you're going to be able to get a good image, and if you don't get a good image, then you have the opportunity to re-stamp it. And I waste a lot less paper now. I think I'd like that to be just a little bit darker, so I'm just going to go over it one more time. If I'm doing multiple cards, once I've placed my stamps on the plate of the Stamparatus, then I can just easily keep replacing the next one in order to get all of my images stamped. All right, so I'm going to set the Stamparatus aside and move on. So this card is monochromatic. And I really liked it because that's one of the things Stampin' Up! Does really well, is help you color coordinate and make sure that all of your ribbon, your paper, and everything, your ink, all match. So I just took a piece of garden green cardstock, which you can find in the annual catalog. I cut it at 5.5 and I scored it at 4 1/4. And then I took a piece of the Toile Designer Series paper, and I'm just going to line that on the front, basically centering it, leaving just the same amount of space on all 4 sides. I've been listening to Christmas music for quite a while now. My poor husband is probably about ready to kick me out. All right, so you'll hear it in the background. Hopefully it's not too loud. All right, the next thing I want to do before I finish layering my card is I have this bell, and there's a couple pieces that I die cut out. Even this piece is part of the die cuts, and this piece is going to be layered right over the center of that bell to give it a little more dimension. So the other thing that you'll notice is the machine the die cutting machine, it die cut this beautiful design out of the center. You can either leave those in and just run a strip of tape along the back to hold those. Or for this card, what I did was I punched those out, because what I wanted to do was create this green behind that on those leaves. So I took a small little strip of paper, however much, you know, a couple inches worth, and I just made it big enough to where I could lay it, oops, one more, where I could lay it behind, and I'll be able to then get the effect that I want. Once I get that taped on, then I'll just go ahead and take my scissors and trim that off, okay? So in order to do that, what I did was I'll just put a tiny bit of glue here and there, just enough to hold that on. It doesn't take much. Okay, I think that'll do it. Turn it back over. Touched a little bit of glue there. Might have put just a little too much. It doesn't take much, just a tiny dab. All right, give that a second to dry. I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to layer this other stamped image. I already stamped it just to save time. I'm going to go ahead and layer that, and I'm going to make it right in the center of the other piece of the green paper that I have cut. I can give you the size of that in the description of this video. Okay, just center that right in the middle. Okay, I think that's been enough time for this to dry. I'm going to just go ahead and trim it now. There we go. All right, that's the exact look that I wanted. The next step is, before I layer it there on the front of my card, I'm going to take this small little strip that goes, oops, across the center of this, and I'm just going to glue that on, and then I'll set it aside as well and wait for that to dry. And you do want to be careful, because this metallic paper, it does show fingerprints, and it does show glue if you happen to smear the glue. It's just going to be the tiniest little bit of glue, and it doesn't take much to hold that on. With a steady hand, hopefully I can get that on. Good, I did. Just need to hold it for a second, because what'll happen is if you don't hold it, then it might pop up, just because it's paper and it may have lost its shape a tiny bit. So you're just going to hold that until you feel like that has been adhered well enough. There we go. I think that's fine. All right, that's ready. And the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and tie my bow now. This is, I think, about 9 or 10 inches of the double stitched ribbon in garden green. And you're just going to, it's double-sided, so it doesn't matter which side you use. You're just going to tie a bow just as though you would if you're tying a shoe. Okay. I really like this ribbon. It really has a nice firm shape, and it turns out beautiful every time. So then once I use a glue dot to stick that to the front, then I'll just trim these off. Okay, that'll just set that there. All right, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and decide where I want this on the front of here. And then I want to adhere these two little sprigs. The sprigs are part of the dies with the set. You don't have to stamp them. They just are cut out by dies on your embossing machine. I recently bought the mini Boss. It's a mini embossing machine, and it's perfect for cutting out really small dies like this. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and adhere this down to the front of my card. I'm not going to pop this up because I'm going to be popping up this whole piece. All right, and I'm just going to leave these behind it. about where I want them. Actually, I guess what I'll do is I need to make sure I have a little bit of glue right toward the top, which I do. A little bit too much there. All right. And then I'm just going to adhere that down and make sure that I include those two little sprigs there as part of what I'm gluing down, right about in the center. And it's okay that those ends will be up a little bit. That'll just give it a little bit of more dimension. And then of course you have to hold that for a second while it dries. Then we'll just take a mini glue dot, put that on the back once you get it shaped the way you like it. And you're just going to bring that right on over the top, leaving that little loop peeking out. I think is cute. All right, and then I'll just trim the edges here of my bow. These are nice sharp snips. They're the Stampin' scissors. They're very sharp and they work well on ribbon and paper. All right, then the last thing that we do is just go ahead and place this on the front, and I'm going to use my dimensionals. I have some mini dimensionals here. You can use the big ones or the small ones, of course. So I need to still make quite a bit more Christmas cards. I think I've only got about 25 or 30 made, but I'm looking forward to finishing those up and getting them sent out. If you make any Christmas cards like this one, please post it in the comments on my Facebook page. I'd love to see them. One more thing is we're just going to center this on the front as best you can, and then we'll take the inside and glue that down, centering that as well. It says, "May you cherish the wonder of the season now and throughout the year." Love that. All right, and then of course, don't forget to stamp your envelope. You don't want to be sending a naked envelope. I hope you enjoyed this project today, and I hope that if you want any of the products that you see here, you'll go over to my store at loriMagnuson.stampinup.net and look for the Cherish the Season Bundle. This is going to be no longer available after January, so be sure that you pick it up soon. All right, have a great day. Merry Christmas.